0.85 miles.
No creep and pee, be respectful.
Sorry?
I said no creep and pee, be respectful.
So it's 0.78 miles down here.
I'm going to do another one. Come on.
Lovely day for it.
So when we look at the verges here, they're clearly from an area that's been over-farmed, oversprayed with chemicals and certainly over-fertilised, because the only plants that have survived are very, very coarse, rank weeds that can survive high levels of fertiliser, and all the fine, good, small, interesting stuff has been out-competed by the strong, vigorous stuff that's responding to the fertiliser. Is that it? Is that what you need?
Yeah.
And have you're videoing the verge?
Yeah.
So you look at this side. So on this side there's loads of nettles, and nettles are a sure sign of too much phosphorus. So again, you can see this has been over farmed and oversprayed and over fertilised because it's just full of phosphorus, which allows the nettles to grow. And if you look again at the plants on the verge, you can see there's lots of celandines, but there's also arums. And the arum, lords and ladies, are a sure sign that this was an ancient hedge or verge at one time, and the ancient plants, the ancient trees and shrubs have been taken out and replaced with a young modern hedge.
So these are celandines.
And that conjecture is borne out by every now and again there's a big old tree, which was obviously what was in the old hedge, and so they've left the bigger trees from the old hedge, and then they've taken out most of the hedge and replaced it with new hedging. Somebody who should have known better, who was a teacher of maths, when their dog went the wrong side of them and the lead was running, what did they do?
I don't know.
Teacher of maths, male, supposed to have good spatial ability, what do they actually do?
Figure of 8.
They did this to unwind the dog.
Yeah.
And what do I do to unwind the dog? Just
think,
pass the
yeah.
lead behind my back. It's not exactly difficult, is it? Community on the verges is what I grew up with in East Anglia, and that's what I thought was normal, and it wasn't until I started going out to other places and looking at plants in the wild or places where there hadn't been so much farming that I realised that everything I grew up with was very abnormal, in fact. Proportion of the different species in the hedge, which tells you how old the hedge is. And the classic idea is that it takes about 25 to 50 years for a new species to colonise a hedge. But when you look at a modern hedge, because it's been planted by human beings, you'll find that there's a set pattern of planting. So they plant 1 of this, 3 of that, 4 of this and 6 of the other. So if you look at the planting along a hedge, you'll see the species density is completely wrong, and also there's pattern to what's there. And in nature there would never be pattern, it would all be totally at random. So we look at the hedge that was behind us there, and you can see patterns of planting. So it tells us that it's not an ancient hedge at all.
So how did the daffodils get here?
Oh, they're all planted. They're not moving. See, the water on this side is not moving, okay, or anywhere near as much, but this is really good territory for frogs.
Yeah.
And
Frog
you
spawn.
can see, yeah, frog spawn. You can see the watercress, so that low green stuff is watercress all through. It's all watercress. And on the other side, it's all water celery.
Yeah.
It is, I can see it is moving, but it's not moving.
It's not moving as fast.
as far. So, say, if you go find frog spawn,
So those lilies there in the middle, the tall one.
to have that planted, this must have been wet for years, not just this year, but year after year after year. Have that been.
Surprisingly dry here, considering the amount of rain we've had.
So you can see this is full of reeds that have all been cut. So again, it's obviously pretty damp a lot of the time. It's got reeds in it.
I think we're somehow going right down.
Take the next right,
Before the river.
then turn
Yeah.
right. Now turn right, then turn right.
I don't know what it means by turn right and right again.
Now turn right.
Easy. I mean, I can't see where else it could be, can you?
No. She'd tell us if we go wrong.
Follow this way for 750 yards.
See it?
Oh,
Two
yeah.
buzzards. So this bit here looks like a pingo. It's a broad, sort of relatively flat, shallow depression full of water plants. And if you look further over, you can see the same circular or semicircular patches of reeds across the field. If we walk over here, and you look through, you can see several of what look like pingos in this low-lying
Oh, yeah.
bit. There's some maize in the background, so just ignore that. There's a whole series of these shallow depressions full of water, and I wouldn't be surprised if this side wasn't the same as well. See, it's a depression with a raised edge around the outside of it, where all the ice through the sediments. The river's fairly speeding along, and it's very clean, isn't it?
I think they'd have washed sheep in this as well, I think, years ago. Perfect spring day.
Can you see how the nettles are increasing here again?
Yeah.
So it could be that the cattle or whatever they were always gathered in this corner and sat in this corner, so
Yeah.
the phosphorus is higher. And that's why there's enough.
Daffodils out here as well.
I can see white over there.
Yeah.
So someone's planted some over there. And there's a few here, aren't there?
Next, keep right.
And sometimes they people can plant as way markers as well.
Yeah.
You know, so you know you're on the right trail.
So I think we sort of bear right after this.
So this is actually another stream entering the main river, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually that'd be a river in its own right, looking at that. Look at that photo river. Quite wide. Unless so okay, so when you look in here you can see that it must be ancient woodland because the ground flora is made up of things that only occur in woods that have never been disturbed. So the trees aren't that old and the land is very uneven, but there had to have been trees here continuously, you know, for the last 6,000 years or so, because you've got the flora which only exists in ancient woods. So the one you can see most of, pale green, is Dog's Mercury, and there's also celandine, there's arum, and I wonder if we walked in whether we might even find a bluebell.
The
Again, you can see this one must be the coppice.
Follow this way for 400 yards.
That's why I can't see any bluebells.
As I said yesterday, there's no wild garlic.
No. It may just be dry. I mean, I've been, as you say, I've been in the woods in Derbyshire, and it's just wild garlic wall to wall.
Yeah.
I can see wild gooses. The purple thing is called ground ivy.
Which one?
That's ground ivy. The purple flowers. Glaucoma hederaceae or ground ivy. That occurs everywhere. That's not really a sign of anything ancient. That's just in hedges, verges, wherever you go, that plant is there. So it can't really tell us anything very much about how old it is. And this particular grass you can see everywhere is Brachypodium sylvaticum, and again it can occur in verges, in hedges, but also in ancient woods. So still haven't seen anything yet, but another indicator of an ancient wood. It's obviously been
It's amazing how those are daffodils down there,
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
there's daffodils over there.
How did they get here?
Somebody has probably walked a dog every day for the last 20 years, and every time they come out with a few bulbs in their pocket and stick them in.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people who did that in my village. You know, there were all sorts of plants around the place, just from one woman walking her dog and just having a pocket full of bulbs and just pushing them in wherever she felt like it. And she put bluebells in places where there would never have been a bluebell, because, you know, our floor is so green. And then if you've got things like that Stachy sylvatica.
Which one?
This one, Stachy sylvatica with purple flowers in the summer.
Yeah.
But again, it could be hedges, ditches, and woods. But you know, we're not really getting enough of a picture. There's not enough plants here to tell me that it really is an ancient wood. And there's even a pine. That's a pine. So that's obviously completely wrong for here, isn't it? You never normally get pines here. So that's obviously planted. And in fact there's a whole bunch of conifers over there as well.
Yeah.
So somebody must have been doing some plantations. Yeah, there's no primroses. It's probably too dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no wood anemones. Yeah, which you might also expect, somewhere like this. So, you know, it's obviously been left and not too far away from wild, so it's not really quite got all the areas. When you look at this tree here, all that white that's on the tree is lichen.
Yeah.
And you can see it's spread up the tree piece by piece. It just looks like somebody's painted it, but it isn't. It's actually lichen.
Yeah.
And it's a sign that the air must be pretty clean out here to have lichen all over the tree like that. Yeah, it's just a funny bit of lumpy bumpy ground that the farmers have just left alone. It's too difficult to do. Oh, I've just found primroses, look.
Oh yeah.
So that's another sign of this being quite ancient. There's some here and they're scattered over there. If you look, you can just see odd ones through this part. Next is the leaves, no flowers. Massive clumps, some huge clumps of primroses, and over there as well. But again, do we trust them? Did somebody put them here?
Didn't tell us off, so we're going in the right direction.
Take the next left.
Oh, there's coltsfoot.
What's that?
Coltsfoot. It's one of the earliest plants to flower. The flowers come up before the leaves do, and the leaves will come up later, and they're grey underneath and green above.
Now turn left.
An early coltsfoot.
Yeah.
They're obviously planted the potatoes in that.
So straight.
Next go straight.
My satellite.
Wonder why it's bricked in there. Yeah.
Or maybe there was a window and there was another barn.
Yeah.
There were windows here.
Now continue straight on Featherstone Road.
Because the chalk wasn't really strong enough, they had to use the brick on the corners and
Yeah.
along the oh, look at the daffodil.
Oh wow.
Well, there's plenty of ground on it.
It's windy, isn't it?
Take the next right.
When you see these trees dotted out like this, they could have been on ancient hedges, older hedge lines,
Yeah.
or this might have been park
Yeah.
with the trees spaced out like this.
Yeah.
Or it could have been grass, it could have been pasture,
Yeah.
and they left the big tree.
Yeah. Right.
There's ivy here, so it's not that ivy isn't about.
Yeah. Straight furrows.
Yeah, again, it's all gone by satellite. Ah,
What?
right, if you stand here and look down the field,
Yeah.
what can you see in the furrows?
In the what?
Look at the furrows.
Yeah.
Is that field 100% level? Or
No.
Does it do this?
It's got.
It does this, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's got
And the
little.
more you look, the more you'll see of them. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Watch me. Like this. They are the old horse furlongs.
Wow.
So what happens is the horse can only run a certain distance before it gets tired.
Yeah.
So they used to run the horse with the plough for a certain distance. It would stop, they'd clean the plough off, and then they'd run the next distance.
Yeah.
And over centuries, it builds up into these ridges across the fields.
Wow.
And that's what that is.
Amazing.
Otherwise, it would be normally be totally flat, but it isn't. You can see this. And I bet if you pace them out, each one would be a furlong.
Yeah.
And when they first started doing this, they used to use oxen.
Yeah.
And oxen run out of energy faster.
Yeah.
So when you have an ox ploughed field, they start off in a straight line, but when they get to the end, they get tired, so they go in a slight bend.
Yeah.
So a field that's had ox ploughing, you always get the slight bend at the end. But here, as I say, you can see they look as if they're straight across, and it's a regular dip and furrow all the way through. So that's the old lines. And there's some fields you can see it really clearly, but when you've got the straight lines of the potato ridges,
Yeah.
you can really see that.
You
can't
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you know, that's 1,000 years, 2,000 years of people running horses up and down on that land.
Yeah.
If you look even down this headland, there's daffodils.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally all the way down the headland.
So it's where people have been walking.
Well, I think it must be the owner of the farm.
Yeah.
Looking at the way that they're planting all over the farm, it's almost certainly the owner of the farm.
What's the hedge? The flower?
It looks like a wild plum. So
Right.
it's not a sloe. The slow flowers are a bit smaller. and they'd also be very spiny.
Yeah,
But
it's not a hawthorn,
well,
is it?
the possibility is that there's a wild sloe, and then there's a plant that is often planted in hedges as sloes,
Yeah,
which is not actually the real wild one.
Yeah.
It's got bigger fruits, it's less thorny, it's almost like it's a sloe hybrid, and it gets planted in hedges as sloe. So you see that more and more in lots of different places. And if you think this was planted in the 1960s, that could easily have been in the mix
Yeah.
when they planted it, and it's just spread along the hedge. Then we go down here and turn right again, and we're
Yeah.
going around the rectangle.
Go this way for 0.85 miles.
So you can't be the only person who's discovered Komoot.
no,
And somebody must have walked all of these.
in order to record them.
Yeah.
Bird spring song.
That's skylark. Skylark. And I mean, they sort of think, well, is it trying to attract a mate? Then it does it all year round.
Yeah.
You see it? It's fluttering in one place. You see it? Just by that small cloud.
All right. So is that a roadway there with the pines?
Well, it could have been a hedge or a shelter belt, or
Yeah.
may not have been a roadway, because they put in the pines across the landscape because they wanted to break the wind, didn't they?
Yeah.
The trees, so, you go to the gap in the hedge. Go to the gap. Yeah, no, go. Keep going. Go to the gap.
Oh yeah. March hare.
Just a brown hair.
But there is an expression, March hare,
There's a
isn't
mad
there?
March hare.
Left here.
Now turn left onto Parks Lane.
Because I remember seeing the name Parks Lane.
Yeah.
Follow this way for 500 yards.
Blowing there.
Just ever so clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mozzies.
So I can see now why they decided to have water gardens here.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of water about in places, isn't there? But I don't remember seeing a house. Yeah, I sort of thought something might have created a garden in a house. I don't remember seeing that. and all of these trees are all alders. And you only find alder where it's always been wet.
Yeah.
Always been wet.
What's in the water?
That's, again, it's water celery.
Right, okay. Edible?
Yes, but quite strong.
Yeah.
And but there is another one that looks very, very similar. This cat that looks very similar that is actually poison.
Yeah.
So you do need to be careful.
Yeah. You see they've got broadband here, fibre. It's about a mile down here and we turn right, well 870 yards, half a mile. Oh.
Take the next right.
Or straight on, I don't know. Straight on, I would think.
Now turn right onto Goodstone Road. Take the next right.
The way this is arranged, it had to have been full,
Yeah.
but there may still be a fall. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you can see the track here
They can afford it.
and the track there.
Take the next right. Now turn right onto Park.
It says turn right, but I can't see where. It says now path. Well, I can't see a bloody path, can you?
What does the map say?
Follow this way for 0.54 miles.
Which will be the end by then. Is that a crop scarer?
They used to just do one band, and then they'll all do three bands.
Yeah. But why she was saying turn right when it was left? So which way do we go? Down here.
Because we're running parallel to the road, aren't we?
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're saving us from having to walk on the road. So that's another escape.
What?
Garden plant.
What, this one?
Yeah, with the silver spot in it.
I thought that was a nettle.
Lamium maculatum,
Hmm.
and it comes from Eastern Europe, Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria.
Sorry.
That oak tree. That's not
Oh, that one,
that's
right
a
in the
seriously old
distance,
one.
yeah.
That's going to be 400 or 500.
Yeah. Right. You never followed instructions, did
Take
you?
the next left.
No one's ever walked on it. So you can see it's never been used.
Now turn left.
So you're right, I think. I would have gone straight around the field and ended up and completely lost.
In 20 yards, turn left onto Oxborough Road.
Yep. I don't know if the church had been burnt down.